Nearly 2,000 years ago, the Savior of the world, Jesus of Nazareth, conducted his brief ministry. He walked the hills, went to the cities, walked the seashores. He met people where they were, and one by one, he changed their lives. By example, by precept, and by a single word, he altered the course of this world. That word, love. Now Jesus was in the 33rd year of his life, the 3rd year of his ministry. Evil forces were threatening to bring his mortal life to an end. It was near the time of the Passover when Jesus called his disciples to him. They met in an upper chamber where he broke bread, blessed, and gave it to his followers. When the supper was completed, Jesus laid aside his garments and took a towel and girded himself. After that, he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and wipe them with the towel. At first, his apostles refused to be thus served by their master, but Jesus spake, saying, If I, your Lord and Master, have washed your feet, then ye also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have given unto you an example, that ye should do as I have done unto you. And he spake further, saying, A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you. By this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another.
that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love.
Bobby had been playing by the duck pond for several minutes before his father called for him to come in the house. He approached his father slowly, looking down at muddy feet and wet pant legs. But when his father saw the mud and the wet, he said in a stern voice, "Well, Bobby, how many times must I tell you to stay out of the mud and water? Go get me a willow. Perhaps a willowing will help you remember." Bobby was gone for several minutes before he slowly approached his father again, this time with both hands behind his back. His father's voice was again stern as he said, "Well, Bobby, I'm waiting. Give me the willow." Bobby drew both hands around and produced not a willow, but several rocks in each hand. He then said in a meek little tear-filled voice, "I couldn't find a willow, but here are some rocks. You can throw them at me."
Along about 1490, two young friends, Albrecht Dürer and Franz Nystein, were struggling young artists. Since both of them were poor, they worked to support themselves while studying art. Work took much of their time, and advancement was slow. Finally, they reached an agreement. They would draw lots, and one of them would work to support both of them, while the other one studied art. Dürer won and began to study art. Franz labored to support them both. They agreed that when Dürer had attained success, he would return and support Nystein, who then would study the art. Dürer went to the big cities of Europe to study, and as the world now knows, he was not only talented, but a genius. After he'd attained his success, he returned to keep his bargain, but he soon discovered the enormous price his friend had paid. For as Nystein had worked at hard manual labor, his fingers had become stiff and twisted. His slender, sensitive hands had been ruined for life. He could no longer execute the delicate brushstrokes necessary for fine painting. Although his artistic dreams and talents could never be realized, He was not embittered, but rather rejoiced in his friend's success. One day, Dürer came upon his friend unexpectedly and found him kneeling, with his gnarled hands intertwined in prayer, quietly praying for the success of his friend, although he himself could no longer be an artist. Dürer hurriedly sketched the folded hands of his faithful friend, and thus came the great masterpiece of The Praying Hands. Surely this must be one of the greatest stories of loving sacrifice that one friend can show towards another.